Welcome to episode 11 of the Wild Eye Diaries. We're going to be having a look at what the guys have been up to this week, as we have been doing before. Gerry is literally flying back from Borneo as we speak. Johan's been getting up to some productive stuff in Nelspruit. There's a team in the little relay. My daughter and Jono and Tammy are in the Masai Mara. She wants her chips. And the guys have been good and busy. Trev's going to tell you a great story about a mother leopard and a cub, and I have some exciting news to share. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Mike and Al have sent us an update from Shinzela, from the Timbavati, where they're hosting an exciting safari experience. They're up next and they'll be sharing everything that they saw and that the guests got to enjoy on that particular safari.
So we are here in the Timbavati, currently sitting at Shinzela Tented Safari Camp. That's Alistair over there.
That's Mike.
Cool, and Al, this is your first visit to the Timbavati ever, yeah?
Yeah, it is.
You've never been into this area?
Not into this area at all.
So, if I could ask you, what were your expectations about the Timbavati before you arrived, and what were your initial thoughts driving through the reserve into the camp?
I think given the proximity to the Sabi Sands, obviously just being a little bit further north of that,
yeah,
I kind of I expected the vegetation to be fairly similar, but not entirely the same. I know that there's different types of trees and different vegetation. So from a vegetation perspective, there's not as many deep drainage lines, not as many kind of open sandy crests as you would experience in the Sabi Sands.
A lot denser than...
It's a lot more dense.
Yeah, Mapani thickets.
Mapani thickets and stuff like that, which you wouldn't necessarily experience down further south where you and I used to work. But it's been surprisingly different, actually.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. I quite enjoy the thicker wooded type of environment in any case.
This is where the leopards hang out.
Yeah, for me that makes a big difference.
Nice.
But yeah, I think I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect any major difference in terms of geography and things like that, because it's relatively quite close. But yeah, pleasantly surprised on arrival. Thank goodness I was following Mike, because I wasn't quite sure of the way here. So
yeah, it is pretty. Well, obviously, if you were driving by yourself, there's boards along the main roads that will direct you to the camp. So yeah, if you're ever traveling into Shinzela or in the Timbavati, yeah, it is well marked off. But yeah, fortunately, you could follow me. I remember the first time I ever had to come here. Yes, this was a couple of years ago. This is where my guiding career started, and I still don't know where I ended up till this day. I was at like
you went through all different gates.
Private little farm, bro. I had no idea where I was. Yeah, I went through a gate that had a chain on, but the lock wasn't locked, and I got to the next gate, and there were like 20 locks on them. Yeah. Chained. So I thought maybe it's not a good idea trying to get in here. So I think all the owners in finally found the place. So, but that was way back before there were any signboards in the Timbavati. It was a mess. But obviously, I was also blown away when I walked into the camp a couple of days ago because of all the revamps.
Yeah.
But what was your... I'll explain to everyone now what the changes were, but what were your initial thoughts on arrival at the camp, walking into the lodge? And
so when I heard tented camp, obviously you think rustic tents on the ground, fairly close together.
Yeah.
And I arrived and I was completely blown away. You've got this beautiful main entrance to the lodge, and as Mike would explain, you obviously saw a very different Shinzela to what you've experienced previously.
Yeah.
But for me, arriving first time, I was completely blown away by this amazing kind of lodge entertainment area with deck dining chairs and a bar and a welcome lounge and everything. So that was quite surprising. And then to see how sophisticated these tents actually are. I mean, obviously they're canvas tents by nature, but they're on these beautiful wooden platforms. They've actually got thatch roofs on top. I'm sure
makes a world of difference.
A huge difference. So it's not as hot as you would imagine in the middle of the days because of the shade that's provided by the thatch roof.
Exactly. It also keeps the heat in.
Keeps the heat in at night, so it's not as cold. It's very spacious. They're much bigger than what I anticipated. So either one double bed or two single beds.
Yeah.
And your own ensuite bathroom with toilets and shower and running water and sink and mirror. So it's pretty sophisticated camping.
Good setup, eh?
Yeah, very good setup. So that I was really impressed with. And then the spacing between the tents is what I found to be pretty crucial. Each tent has actually got its own view of the bush. myself and Mike's have got a lovely view of the drainage line just behind us, and others have got views of kind of the
dry riverbed
and the entrance area into the lodge. So each tent has got its own magnificent little view, and that just adds to the whole atmosphere of staying in a tented camp.
Definitely.
What I really like is these fly sheets that can roll up at night, and so you literally feel like you're part of the bush. It feels like you're sleeping outside because the
every noise, every crack. Yeah, the hyena sniffing at the tent corner every night.
That first night, that hyena went absolutely crazy. I mean, literally
actually,
calling probably a few meters from our tent.
Yeah, and it woke the folk that were already asleep. It
Yeah.
was so loud.
It was really loud.
Yeah.
But
it's truly...
that's the whole experience.
Exactly. If you want a proper bush experience, find yourself a tented safari camp, and that's the way to go.
It's completely changed my mind of the idea of a tented camp.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, tents were something that I did with friends and family on holiday vacations.
Yeah, this is totally different.
This is totally different. So.
Yeah, and with me coming in, and like Al said, I'll explain it, is that they've done a lot of revamp. They closed this lodge for 3 weeks in January, and they revamped every single tent, so it's new canvas, new decking, new doors. The doors can actually lock now properly. The new showers, everything has just been set up perfectly. But the main area, I am absolutely blown away. It used to be this old wooden deck. It was quite, when the weather was bad, was quite crammed in there. This lodge can sleep 16 people. So yeah, when it's pretty full and the rain comes down and all the tables in there, it's pretty tight.
Yeah.
So now what they've done, they've extended the deck. There's no more wooden decking. It is all screeted flooring. Absolutely beautiful. More furniture, a better bar setup, better stools at the bar. And I'm absolutely blown away by this place now. And like you mentioned before we started this, you can stay here for months.
Sure, easy.
And it definitely is comfortable, and food is great.
Yeah, food's great. Really healthy home-cooked meals.
How was that pork on the first evening?
Yeah, proper.
And last night's tomato soup?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
Mike was going on and on about the soups until we arrived, and I tried them for myself, and the soups are
awesome. Very, very great. And yeah, the guides as well, they do a great job taking us out into the field twice a day. And game viewing wise, coming out of the sands, what were your first impressions?
Look, in terms of the density of game viewing, particularly cat viewing, lion and leopard viewing in the Sabi Sands, is really tough.
You can't really compare that anywhere.
It's tough to beat. So it's difficult to draw a comparison to that. But generally, I think density of game is roughly the same. But as I said, obviously the thickness of the bush in this area might lead to you experiencing slightly less than you would in the sands.
Yeah.
But I haven't really experienced that as of yet. I mean, the sightings that we've had so far have been pretty good. We've still got quite a few days to go, and I would imagine that the sightings are going to pick up quite nicely. So.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. There's always something special hiding in the Timbavati's thickets, and we just have to find it.
And from my experience, just to drive around and experience different areas is great.
It is cool. So. It is really, really cool. And sitting in just after breakfast, helping the guests with Lightroom and things like that, massive elephant bull comes into the watering hole.
Yeah.
Cool thing about this camp is that there's no fences. And when we say it's an unfenced camp, it means that there are no fences blocking off the wildlife moving through. So every morning when you wake up, I don't know if you've noticed, I always have hyena tracks around my tent.
Yeah.
Obviously you hear them everywhere. But as I used to guide you, yes, we used to have major herds of buffalo, 1,000 buffalo sleeping in the camp.
Yeah.
Elephants moving through every night, feeding in the camp. And this morning we had a very cool sighting of a big elephant bull.
Yeah, I came to drink right at the water hole, which is just behind Mike's right shoulder there.
Yeah. So, yeah, you walked right past your tent in the riverbed, which is pretty cool.
I wish I was here at the time, but we're in the main area.
Exactly, yeah. But for a good cause, though. Some of our guests had tried side or backlit photography for the first time last night with the lioness and her 4 cubs. So
some pretty amazing results.
Yeah, there's some proper results.
Considering
Rob
it was
got
first time for a lot of people.
An awesome side-lit yawning shot.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Sylvia got a great shot of the cub and mom interaction.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun out there, and it was great to spend some time photographing an elephant from camp.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is pretty cool. And like Al said, we got a couple of days, sightings can pick up, and let's hope we get some more in our front lawn.
Yeah,
that'll
absolutely.
be cool. Good stuff, Al. It's been fun this far, and it's great having you on safari with me again.
Awesome to co-host with you.
Nice.
This is what we've seen this far.
That's it. Yeah, make yourself big. up to about 200 liters at one time like this. Especially if they haven't drunk the whole day.
Oh, look at the little one over there. That's cute. Where? Over here on the right.
Oh, I can't see it. That was beautiful.
It's dots. See that? Can't bite you. See that? It's got a small mouth. Can't bite.
Let's have a look for you.
So this is quite a nice big one as well. Look at that. The smaller they are, they get more grey, black in colour.
Andrew Beck put together a great clip for us featuring Tammy and Jono. They are currently in Kenya and visiting the camp in the Mara, and just before they were in Nairobi picking out new furniture and textiles for the Masai Mara camp launching in June. Now we've been in the Mara for 5 or 6 years prior to this, but this year we're doing some serious upgrades and it's gonna look awesome, guys. So enjoy this clip with us and let us know what you think of the new look Wild Eye Mara camp.
So with the opening of the new look Wild Eye Mara camp on the banks of the Mara River just less than 2 months away now, there's been a lot of work in getting the last little bits and pieces and finishing touches for the camp set up, ready for guests' arrival at the beginning of July. Jono and Tammy flew up to Nairobi this week. They've been doing a lot of shopping, and as things stand now, I think they're quite happy to be out of Nairobi and in the Mara, visiting the site where the permanent Wild Eye camp will be set up from July till the end of November this year. Check out what they've been up to over the last couple of days.
Mary, where are we going?
Oh, we're going to town. We're going to do shopping.
Oh, for the camp?
Yes, for the camp. We're going to do good things. We're going to the shop to find beddings,
Cool.
clothes, face towels, and napkins, and all these things.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Where are we?
We are in Masai market. We're coming to find some fabrics. Yes, they look good.
It looks so cool. I'm super excited. Still in traffic. Got some way to go. Hello.
Hey, Mom.
But all worth it. This is shopping in Nairobi. Getting into the thick of it, getting to know the locals. Super cool. Really negotiate.
Well, this wood stain with like glasses and stuff.
Magnetized, holding the trike. Yes, that's cool. Billy, how was that shop?
Awesome. Great.
You
Great
think
stuff.
we did good?
Yeah.
I don't want to show too much because we want to keep the camp a
Oh,
secret.
yeah,
It's bad.
sure.
As I mentioned, once they'd finished shopping in Nairobi, they've headed to the Mara, and that's where they found themselves today. They're enjoying the Mara both from a wildlife side of things, but also a little bit more on the cultural side of things for a first-time visitor to the Mara like Tammy.
So we've just arrived in the Mara, and I'm here with Tenke and Dixon, and they're going to tell us if they're excited for the new camp. Are you excited? Good. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Just cleaning our teeth
Yeah, this morning when we are together at Mara.
and flossing.
Yeah. This is our toothbrush. That's Masai. And also Tammy come and joined us. We like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What tree is this from?
This is Ngwembo Benek in Masai.
Oh.
Yeah.
My dentist would be very happy.
So if you'd like to visit the Masai Mara this year, we have our Masai Mara Experience Safaris, which take place in July, October and November. And there are still 1 or 2 spaces available on our Great Migration Safaris taking place in August and September. The difference between the two, migration safaris, we will focus on getting dramatic river crossings with the migratory herds that will move through the area over August and September. The only difference with our Mara Experience Safaris is that we cannot guarantee the movement of the herds. However, if you were to come towards the end of July, I would say that there's a pretty good chance of you seeing something. And with the massive rains that Kenya has experienced over the last couple of weeks, we're anticipating that the migratory herds will remain in the area into October as well. So if this is on your bucket list and you'd like help crossing one off your bucket list this year, give me a line, drop me a line on andrew@wildeye.co.za. I'll hook you up. Cheers.
Johan will be coming through to the offices next week as well. He's based in Nelspruit. We are obviously in Johannesburg. It's about a 3 or 4 hour drive in between. That's Johan's hometown as well, and it works quite well. It's great to have a representative for Wild Eye in the Lowveld, and but we look forward to having Johan in the office soon. Here's Johan's update next.
Hello everyone. Okay, so for this week, it's been pretty much head down behind the computer. I'm busy working on new safari documents or little brochures that we're doing for all of our safaris, which is very exciting, and I think it will give you guys a lot of information on trips, whether you're interested in it or if you've booked already. So getting cracking on that. There's about 47 safaris in total, so a lot of information to get through. At this stage, I've done all of our Kenyan safaris, all of our Zambian safaris, as well as the Botswana trips. So quite a few more to go, and will definitely keep me busy for the next few weeks. Also, my new series called Let's Process Your Images is live on YouTube and also under our blogs. And I think it's an exciting series. It's a fun series where we process some of your images that you guys have sent through, and also compare notes on how you process your images compared to how sort of we process it and our take on that image. So look forward to sharing more of those episodes with you guys. But yeah, that's about me for this week. I'm heading to Johannesburg to our offices next week. We've got a meeting on the USA trip that Gerry, Marlon, Andrew and Jono did beginning of this year. So look forward to catching up with the guys there. And then we've also got just a bit of a social gathering next week Friday before we all get very busy on safaris and things. I've got about a little bit less than 2 weeks before I head to Tswalu for a private safari. Very much looking forward to that, and I'll definitely share some of the highlights and the safari sort of experiences as we go along. Hope you guys enjoy this week's episode of the Wild Eye Diaries, and look forward to catching up with you guys again next week. Until then, cheers.
So the du Toit family, we have some exciting news to share with you as well. We have a baby on the way, due in October, and we did an exciting reveal of whether it would be a boy or a girl, and we had some family over. It was very exciting. We had a good time, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the clip that I'm about to share with you.
The only other boy in the family, but he belongs to that dude, which makes him not the du Toit. Spartan Leia, move.
Hey? You want a brother? Ooh, you want a boy, a brother? Are you sure about that?
I'm sure it will be a boy.
Boy.
A boy.
It's a boy.
It's going to be a boy.
Oh.
Yes, the color.
I think it's gonna be a girl, just because everyone else said boy.
From day one, I was thinking it's a boy.
This is the big reveal.
It's a boy! Trevor shared a blog recently on a leopard experience that he encountered while he was still working at Londolozi. Relay, you're making a noise. So yeah, he recently shared a great experience of a leopard mother tracking her, finding her, and being presented to her cub, a very young cub. He shares more of that in the next clip.
Hi guys, so for this week's segment of Wild Eye Diaries, I thought I would share my thoughts and a very special memory of mine and how to use multiple images to tell a story. Now, this story happened a couple of years back while I was still a full-time guide at Londolozi. I had a repeat set of guests, which I'd driven numerous times before, a lovely couple. And they had gotten word that there was a female leopard that, well, her name was Timbavati, my favorite female, that she had cubs. And obviously in the wild, nothing's guaranteed. And understanding that they wanted to put the time in and the effort in to try and find her, see if we could find her as well as her cubs. And we had about a 10-day period to do it. So for the first couple of days, we searched and searched and searched. We did find the female on one occasion. It was at night though, with a spotlight, and she was on her own. She was walking around, but we didn't want to follow her too much because if she had taken us back to the cubs, we wouldn't be able to use the spotlight on them. It's a very sensitive sighting, and obviously we wouldn't want to stress the youngsters or mom out at all. So it must have been probably our 5th or 6th day out. We decided to leave camp a little bit earlier, as this female leopard, her territory was in the southeastern section of the Londolozi property, quite a far drive. So we wanted to get there early, see if we could find any fresh signs of her, and yeah, take it from there. So we headed down into the southeast. We found we came to a nice waterhole where there were some hippos returning from grazing throughout the evening. Lots of water birds, and just a beautiful scene in general. So we sat there for a bit, turned off the vehicle, enjoyed the morning chorus, and we must have been there for about 15-20 minutes or so when not too far away from us we heard a leopard vocalizing. Now obviously it's very difficult or impossible to tell which leopard it is from its call. All we knew was that it was a leopard. So with the excitement building, we started the car and headed in the direction of where the calls were coming from. It was a fairly nice and clear area that we were driving through, and we came around the corner, and there this female leopard, the Timbavati female, was lying on a termite mound. We were obviously all very, very excited to find her, as she's the very one that we were looking for. But sitting on the termite mound, she was vocalized once or twice more, obviously announcing her presence, letting any other leopards know that this area was hers. But she looked quite tired. She also looked quite full, so she may have been on a kill. There wasn't a kill anywhere in the vicinity of where she was, so she might have finished the kill. She might have just left the kill and heading back to the cubs, and we knew that she hadn't been back to the cubs because there were no fresh suckle marks. So she had probably been on the kill throughout the evening and now either most likely finished the kill and was heading back to the youngsters. The youngsters were still very, very small at this stage. They were about 2 months old, so they wouldn't be eating meat yet. They eat meat from about 10 weeks of age. And obviously now very excited, we thought, okay, well, this is as good a chance as any that she is going to return to the cubs. She had been seen a couple of days before with the little ones, but she had since moved the den, so we had absolutely no idea where she had moved the cubs to. And with time on our hands, we decided to sit and wait it out. Now, being summer, it gets to 40 degrees Celsius during the day, which is about 104 degrees Fahrenheit, so nice and warm. And as the time went by, she got more and more lazy. And after 8 hours of sitting with her on this termite mound, she had barely moved. I think every couple of minutes we'd get an ear flick, and that was about it. Now, it was, at this stage, it was scorching, and we were also getting quite hungry, so it came down to decision time. So we thought we would maybe leave her, which is very, very high risk, as she could get up at any stage and head back to the cubs, especially a lot of the other predators are all nocturnal, coming out in the evening, so it might be a good idea for her to head back to the cubs while it's still warm, less activity of other predators. But, you know, we didn't know what she was going to do. But there's always a chance that if she does move, when we come back, we might be able to track her and find her from there. Or possibly she could still be in exactly the same spot. So we decided to leave her be, head back to camp for a quick lunch, freshen up, and then head back out. So we left her sleeping on the termite mound, headed back to camp, had some lunch, freshened up, had a little bit of downtime, and then about an hour later we decided, or hour and a half later, we decided to head back out and see if we could find her again. So now it was heading out. It was about a 20-30 minute drive to her last position. Once again, we discussed the options. Was she going to be there? Was she going to move off? Did she go back to a kill if she has a kill? So yeah, lots going through our minds. And on arrival, we approached the termite mound, and she hadn't moved. So luckily for us, she was in exactly the same position. And yeah, we sat with her. Sure, it wasn't long at all, probably about 10 minutes. And she started licking and grooming, which are great signs for us. It means that she is going to get up and start moving, or potentially get up and start moving. And after about another 10 minutes or so, she did get up, gave a nice big stretch, and she started heading towards a drainage line, which was about 50 meters away, so not far at all. And as she started to approach the drainage line, she started making this call, and it was a call that I had only heard a couple of times before. And I knew that it was a call to call her cubs. So she had obviously stashed them somewhere in this drainage line, and she was now calling them out. So you can imagine our excitement on the vehicle, putting in all this time and effort and hoping that the cubs were going to come out. So she walked up and down the drainage line a little bit, still nothing came out, and she then walked to this fallen over log. It had a nice big cave inside. She stuck her head inside and she started calling again, and she then lay down on a nice little, the side of a termite mound next to this log, and two little heads popped out of this fallen over log. And it was just an unbelievable moment, very, very special. And they then continued to jump on her, bite her. You can imagine the excitement if they haven't seen their mom for the last day or so. And just a very, very sweet moment to see. They then started to suckle the female, and she spent a bit of time with them before she then got up. It was getting a bit cooler, the sun was starting to dip. She had spent some good quality time with them. She got up, and then she ushered them to this fallen over log, where she then kind of forced them back in, telling them to stay before she headed off on her evening patrol. She then turned, once the cubs were back inside the fallen over tree, and started to walk away from the den site. And at this moment, after the time, the effort, the hours that we put into finding her and having such an incredible sighting with this female. Now, what you got to remember is that leopards are such secretive animals, and for her to allow us to be there at the den site and to spend or share this moment with her is absolutely remarkable. So with all of that in mind, she started to walk away. We could still see one of the cubs at the entrance of the tree trunk. We decided then to leave them be and head on back to camp. But yeah, so truly incredible day out in the field. Very special memories, and as you can see by the photos, something that I will remember for the rest of my life.
So Gerry has just finished our Borneo safari experience, the first ever Wild Eye has hosted to that country, and it's been epic. If you followed him online, you would have seen a little bit of what he's gotten up to, and it looks magnificent. He's already got the details for next year's safari out, and if you want to join him, just get in touch, and I'm sure you'll see more of it all over social media soon. Unfortunately, he couldn't send a video across. Connectivity was good enough to stay in touch with WhatsApp and some social media posts, but it wasn't good enough to send an entire file across to us. So he'll share more on that in the coming episodes, so check out episode 12 and 13 for more updates on Borneo. But that's Gerry's part for it. Great experience, happy guests, magnificent safari, and you'll hear all about it in the next episode. So there you have it, episode 11 of the Wild Eye Diaries. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a better idea of what the team gets up to every day. My daughter's still making a noise, but thanks for bearing through it with us all. That's it for now, guys, and hope to have you join us again for episode 12 coming up next week. Bye-bye.